core point that I always wish men understood about feminism is that they can't even afford to live without it. Most men cannot afford a single income household. A single income household is what anti-feminism is. Feminism fought for the rights of women to work equally to men. I think men are sold this idea of like angry, unhappy feminists, but it's like the reverse is so much worse because it's angry, unhappy you. It's really hard and really stressful to be the sole earner in a household. If you lose your job, your entire family's screwed. No food. And this isn't me advocating for 50-50 on dates, but it's me saying that if you're going to be in a long-term relationship with a man, realistically, you're probably going to end up paying for some things eventually. That's how the economy is currently structured. There's no escaping it.
What does that have to do with feminism, though? I mean, yeah, you have the right to work, but great. That doesn't correlate with modern feminism and what feminism is doing. Men aren't mad because you have equal rights. Men are upset with your attitude. They don't like your attitude. Modern women just seem to try to miss the point.
Very, very minute. Like 1 in 100 men can afford to fund your entire lifestyle forever. And chances are that lifestyle won't even be great. It won't be Pilates and...
Bingo. Thank you. This is what you're actually talking about. If you're actually living a modest lifestyle, then a lot more men might be able to attain it. But because you're trying to go to the nail salon and blow $200 every single week, most people are not going to be able to afford that. And why would they want to?
Matcha and like taking your kids to daycare and then doing whatever the fuck you want for the rest of the day.
Exactly.
It'll actually...
So nothing. You're not doing anything.
Probably be you doing all of the labor, and then you get a nice little sweet treat every once in a while when your family vacation happens.
It is a Saturday night and I just had a monumental crash out via email to my therapist. I feel tormented by the desire for intimacy and connection with men, and the extreme fear of being traumatized by them again and again and again.
Like what? Traumatized like how? Like you guys can't continue to say that. Like, what is it? Some of the trauma you guys actually bring on yourself. Some of it is not actually trauma. Some of it's just a misunderstanding. So without being dramatic, let's give some details.
And I don't know how to live with both. I don't know how to find the gray area.
Not a gray area.
I wish more men understood how absolutely exhausting it is wanting to be open to connection with them, and at the same time scared for your literal life. And I'm not over exaggerating.
Well, that's most men do understand it. That's why most men are not approaching, because you guys say that you don't feel safe. When you're on the side of the road, most men, a lot of these guys out here are not stopping because you said that you don't feel safe. I understand. She said that she didn't want me to stop. I'm assuming from what she said, she has AAA or something like that that can help her out. So I'm going to keep on going. So you guys are kind of talking out. I mean, here you go again. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. Well, I want this, but you guys have traumatized me. No, the men that you keep on hanging around have traumatized you. Not all men. Not even a majority of men, actually.
Because even if the present circumstance you're in with a man is not life-threatening, it can feel like it.
It's not. And why? But why though? This is being dramatic. This is exaggerating. Why? He didn't do anything. Well, not presently. Not ever. He didn't. He never gave you any indication that he was going to do anything.
I've been in therapy for so long, you guys.
Great.
And I honestly just wish that I could snap my fingers and rid myself of the desire to be intimate with men.
How do you think that a man hearing this would feel? Oh, I really don't like you, but oh me, oh my, I guess I gotta do it.
It is very hard to be someone who's not necessarily monogamous or looking for that, and also date men.
I was just thinking about my love life, and I realized that a man has never told me they loved me. Ever. Any guy I've ever dated,
Have you been in a real relationship? Like, what's the length of your relationship? What's the depth of your relationship? What direction are you moving in? There's no reason for you guys to be dating for 3 months and you guys are just hanging out, and then he just pops up and says, I love you. We're just hanging out. It's a situationship. Why would I say that?
They never told me they loved me. And it makes me kind of sad when I think about it, because I thought by now I would be married. Like, I thought by this age I would be married, maybe have a baby. And a man hasn't even told me they loved me. Like, I haven't even been told I love you.
Are you waiting for the man to say it first? Or did you decide to put yourself out there on a limb? Because a lot of times these modern women, or a lot of times you guys, you want the man to lead in every single thing. You never want to put your emotions first. Like, you never want to play your hand first. Y'all hold y'all's hand straight to your chest, and a man can never see your cards unless he shows you his. This is what men talk about when they go on dates. That's my first card. I put it down. Pretty good date. Pretty good second date. I put another card down, and you're still holding your cards. On that third date, show him something. Do something. Switch it up. He's showing you 2 times, hey, I'm willing to play some cards. And y'all don't play anything until like maybe the 6th or 7th date. And at that point in time, you say, oh, I was thinking about you today, so I sent you a box of cookies. These are not even good. It's from your local store. I done spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on you, and you buy me an $8.99 box of cookies that are stale. I don't even like chocolate chip.
And in fairness, I've never said it either.
I do like chocolate chip, by the way.
And I guess it's because I'm kind of traditional, so I was always waiting for them to say it, and then if I did love them, I would say it back, but they just never said it.
Bingo.
And I even remember my very first boyfriend I ever had. I mentioned it to him after we had been dating for quite a while. And I just thought maybe he forgot, or, but no, he very clearly told me, like, no, I just don't want to say it. I just don't feel
At that point, leave him. Okay, cool. Hey, listen, you and I are not compatible. It seems like we're not going the same direction. That's harsh, but I'm not wasting any more of my time. I wouldn't say that, but you the man, clear as day, let you know exactly what he was thinking. Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and get my underwear. Let me go ahead and get my undergarments. Let me go ahead and get my allspice and my Himalayan sea salt, and let me go ahead and get up out of here. You ain't got to see me no more. Love you, be blessed.
That way, I'm like, oh, okay. And I still stayed with him for like months after that, you know? I've just been thinking, like,
for what?
I've really never had good experiences with relationships, maybe one. And other than that, they've all just been bad. Like, I've never been treated well. And when I see these girls that their boyfriends just do, or their husbands, fiancés, whatever, they do like the sweetest things for them, and they're just so in love, and I'm just like, I've never had that before, and I've always wanted it. I've always wanted it, and I've always tried to have it, but I've just never had it. And I think a lot of people don't talk about how hard it is to be in your late 20s and you're still just single and not even close to being with your person or getting married or anything like that. And while
actually, a lot of people do, but I get what you're saying. There's a lot of people that talk about this, but like I said, I get what you're saying.
everyone else is engaged or married, and you know the feeling, I think the best feeling I can compare it to is when a group of people are walking on a sidewalk, like you're with a friend group,
Right.
and you're the one person that doesn't fit across the sidewalk, so you
Yeah.
walk in the back and everybody else is just like a few steps ahead of you,
Yep.
laughing and having fun, and then you're just behind them watching them have fun,
That sucks. Yeah.
but you're alone. That's how it feels.
So, real talk. I saw someone post about this the other day, and it's really been making me think. And I don't mind being single. I have friends and family and my daughter and my dog and work and things to keep me busy. I think the biggest thing is that I am not anybody's priority. Like, nobody. And that, like, when this woman said,
Well, from like seeing some of your other videos, you're not anybody's priority, because I think she was having issues with texting or something like that at one point in time. Like maybe she didn't want to text a man or something. I feel like it was something weird. It was something that was minute, something that could have been easily worked out. And she was perturbed about it.
that on TikTok, I was like, wow. Like nobody considers me or their priority. My priority is obviously my daughter.
Exactly.
But being single, when you're single, there isn't anybody, considering you their priority. And that's a hard pill to swallow. So anyway, I thought that was interesting, and I've been thinking about it a lot.
Well, it sounds like you have some other stuff going on. You say you have a daughter. I'm going to assume that you were in a relationship. So there was something that happened there. Probably need a little bit more detail about why the relationship disintegrated. But I would say for most modern women, most single mothers who are looking to date, they usually say, well, my kids are my priority. And that's where you run into a lot of trouble, is because men are looking to be the priority in somebody's life. They're not looking to come in as a 6-figure, 7-figure earner. Even a man that's making 50, 60K. Actually, nobody. Even somebody working at McDonald's, they're not looking to come in and be a last priority to somebody. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to feel that way. I think if you're a single mother, you're going to have to figure out a way to say, I love my kid, but I intentionally sought out a man. I wanted a man, I wanted a husband, and so he's got to mean something to me. He's got to have a high priority in my life. It can't always be, well, my daughter is going to come to me, or my son is going to come to me, and he's going to immediately, or they're going to immediately usurp this man's authority because he's not their original father. That man, no, even though you're saying, oh, well, I still love you, and even though this is the order of things, and you're still number one in my heart. But that man knows he's not number one. He knows he's not a priority to you. And so therefore he's thinking, well, his as soon as y'all get into a relationship, his time clock, his stopwatch has started. And he's saying, well, how long is it going to take her to completely jump ship and leave me holding the bag, leave me with all the responsibility, and have me taking all the accountability? Oh, well, you were wrong when you shouldn't have talked to her. You need to warm up to her, and you need to be considerate of her feelings and all this other stuff. I mean, she came in here and disrespected me. I pay the bills here. You're in this house because I pay majority of the mortgage, majority of the bills. But you have this young lady in here disrespecting me. Why would I want to take that? That doesn't make sense. And instead of trying to understand my perspective, you siding with her. We're not even having a family we're not even having a family sit down. You're just automatically siding with her.
Okay, let's talk about dating in our 40s, 50s, and who should be paying for dates. What do you guys think I'm going to say? Men. Men should be paying for dates.
Yep.
I always let men pay for dates, at least 1 through 3. After date 3, I'll usually offer to pay for something. Like if we go bowling and dinner, I'll say, I'll pick up bowling, or I'll pick up dinner. Or sometimes, like the last person I went out with, seriously, I was like, we made a bet about bowling, and whoever won bowling wouldn't have to pay for dinner. So I paid for bowling, and then I ended up paying for dinner because I lost. So yes, but men should be paying for dates. I don't even offer date 1 through 3. And I've never had a man ask me to pay. I've never had a man not want to pay. It's just the right thing to do, men. And if you're not dating classy women, this is why.
I just feel like there needs to be a little bit more aggression from women in terms of taking initiative, in terms of trying to meet the need of the man that she's looking to date. I feel like this, I'm expecting this for dates 1 through 3. You're automatically, and I understand having a standard, but you're automatically putting a man on a schedule. And you're sitting back and you're judging for dates 1. Well, let's see how you do for dates 1 through 3. And you're kind of sitting back trying to figure out, hey, is this man for me? And you're not really engaging in the way that I feel like you should, in order for him to say, yeah, I feel like, yeah, I want to keep on paying. I feel like I want to continue to go on these dates, right? That's kind of my struggle with this type of setup or structure. It from the start says, okay, prove over and over again. Show evidence over and over again. But you have yet to give the man anything. By date 3, he's already, if he's getting off easy, probably $200 in. And you might not even like him. So he's had to spend $200 in time away from making money to see if there might be a chance that you like him. That risk nowadays, especially in this economy, is just too great.
And if you're only having one date, this is why. You need to be paying for dates. Men need to be paying for dates. And you can give me your opinion and say that women are there for free meals. I've never gone out with someone for a free meal, ever. If you think that, don't go out with them again. But pay. Offer to pay and pay. It's the right thing to do.
But once again, well, don't do it again. Once again, and this is when men start having standards and putting walls up and putting up extra guardrails. Well, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it again. The problem is he's already spent money. The problem is he's already out $150. And if you want to split it, he's already out $75, $100. That's the problem. And if he has to, once again, always be out $100, if he has to always be out $75, he always has to take the hit. At some point in time, he's saying, this is getting a little bit too expensive for me. For no return on my investment. There is no return. I'm not getting paid any dividends, nothing. I think I'm going to check out. I think I'm going to step away. That's what I'm saying. The title of the video is All Men Need to See This: Older Women Admitting What They Use Men For. Well, I don't use men for free dates, but you do use them for free meals is what you're doing, because you've already said 1 through 3 is going to be covered by you. That's it. Well, I need a man for emotional stability. I need to connect with. I don't want you saying anything. I'm not really interested in your opinion, but I am interested in a connection. I want male validation. That's what I need you for. I've got my kids. I've got my daughters. They're my priority. But you, I need you just to have a male companion in my life. You're not really going to be much of anything to me, honestly, but just a warm body for me to talk to and listen, and for me to post on Instagram every now and then to say, hey, here's my boo, here's the man, the love of my life. But that man ain't getting nothing from it.
Do you think you're fussy when you're dating? Do you think you're too picky? Do you think that you've got low tolerance? Do you think that you've got zero compromise? I don't. But interestingly enough, I was having a very broad chat with a group of friends, and, obviously mentioning that I just, recently broken up with someone, and, listed a few reasons why, listed the good, but also listed the bits that were like deal breakers for me. My friend said, well, I think you're too picky. And I said, really? Do you really think I'm too picky?
You're not going to listen. They just told you what they think your problem is. They're trying to help you. And you're sitting up here trying to say, oh, no, that's not me. It could never be me. Me? Little old me? Or big old me? Because my ego is bigger than everything.
Like, if that really is what I want, like, why would I stay. And especially if it's an emotional thing. Like, we're not talking like a physical thing or a financial thing. It's an emotional response to something.
What is the emotion? What is it? Because right now you're not really saying anything. That's what we need to know. What is the emotion? What are you not getting?
Somebody. Yes, I miss him. Yes, I've messaged him. Yes, I begged him to take me back. I get all that. That was just me having a grieving period. I think if you are picky, be picky. Like, why the hell not? I've got a lot of people that I know that are in very unhappy marriages. They're not satisfied. They're not intimate. Like, I know people that have...
What are you worried about them for? We need to stop this nonsense. What are you worried about those marriages for? When you're in business as a boss babe, do you look at those failing businesses and say, ooh, I don't, oof. Yeah, that's not, wow, I'm not going to get into business because of that. No, you say, ooh, let me learn from them and not do that. Hey, you're successful in business. How about we go out to coffee? I'll pay. That's what you do. This is what I mean when I say I want women to start being a little bit more intentional, a little bit more aggressive about showing their intention, showing their interest in a man. Y'all said, oh, well, I'm not too picky. I this and that. And y'all don't really ever show any interest in a man. Y'all just sit up there and judge him. Y'all sit up there and swipe. It's like real life swiping. And men are cutting that. I'm cutting that out of my budget. I don't have time to pay $75 in real life to get swiped on for no reason, over and over again.
I haven't been intimate in years and years and years. Like, I couldn't tolerate that. I don't know. Am I too picky? Yeah. Okay. I'm picky with who I give my heart to. And then I'm picky with myself as to who I take it away from. But
Coping mechanism.
if you're single and you've only been dating for a few months and it doesn't line up, choose you. Be picky.
I was just placing an order online for some things at Costco, and the house is quiet,
Which
and
you
it
said
hit
you
me.
loved.
As I was ordering and looking at furniture and just looking at stuff that was on the computer, and all I thought was, I wish I had someone to love. I wish I had someone to share my life with, to buy new furniture with.
Little moments.
Dating over 50, so I'm about to be picked up for a second date, and I'm going to come back on here in this post and let y'all know how it went. But I'm excited. We're going to Toulouse, and you know, this guy seems really great. Obviously, we had a good first date, or I wouldn't be going on the second date with him. But you know, like I always say, I'm just going to take it slow, see how he shows up over time, because that's really the only way you can really get to know somebody. So I'm excited, and stay tuned, and I will let you know how it went.
Here, once again, we're going to see how he presents himself to me, not how I present myself, how I show up for him. How does he show up for me? What does he give me? That's all you're ever going to hear from these modern women.
And then quickly, I wanted to show y'all my outfit of the night, because you guys always message me and say, what did you wear on?
I like those colors, honestly. I like those colors, man. I think it really goes with her skin.
The date. So this is a great Amazon top. It's like literally under $50, comes in 10 colors or something like that. These are my absolute favorite mother jeans. If I could pick one pair of jeans to wear like for the rest of my life, these would be them, because they are that good. They're just like a high-waisted straight leg. Okay, stay tuned and I'll let you know how the date went. Okay, well, we're not going on a third date. So if that tells you anything, obviously the second date didn't go well, and I'm going to tell you why.
Probably didn't go well because she's particular about things, and he was straightforward in setting a boundary. She's not going to call it a boundary. She's just probably going to call it something that turned her off. It was a red flag. It was an ick. But let's see what it does. I could be wrong.
So, actually the actual date did go well, but towards the end of the date, I set a boundary, and basically I'm not going to go into detail, but I've actually shared this on Instagram before, like tell a guy no and see what he does, because this will like tell you everything. And so Basically I set a boundary, and, he basically left pretty quickly after that. And even like when he was leaving, I was like, I don't know why I did this, just sort of flew out of my mouth, but because I was kind of wondering, like, I just basically said, so I guess I'll see you when I see you. Because after saying no, like about this one certain thing, I could just tell like his energy shifted. And then he basically avoided that question and was like, yeah, well, I have to work tomorrow, and I know you're going to Austin and blah, blah, blah. And, didn't ask me out on a third date, obviously. And I could just tell from his energy and also how I felt after he left.
You don't have to, you don't have to ask, you don't have to guess anything. Really, honestly, truly. He didn't ask you out again. That means he's done. He's finished. I know you're trying to spit it in a way that, he couldn't live up to your standard, but that's what I'm saying. Men are not about to be your punching bag anymore.
That this, we're for sure not going out again, because honestly, I wouldn't want to go out with him again. He obviously didn't want to go out with me again. Otherwise, He would have asked me. So I think it was for sure like a mutual feeling. But
it wasn't mutual. He didn't ask you out. He was sure he wasn't going out with you. So it doesn't even come to that. Well, I'm not going out with him. It doesn't matter. He's not asking you out again. So you didn't even have the opportunity.
I guess the lesson here is like I always say, a guy's behavior will tell you everything. And the fact that he kind of acted, I don't know, like taken aback or a little bit, I don't know, like withdrawn after I said after I set that boundary, then this really kind of told me that guy's intentions probably weren't what my intentions were. Even though I had asked him, like, so what are you looking for? Are you looking just like for casual, whatever? And, he kind of answered me in a sort of a roundabout way. He was like, oh, well, I was kind of vulnerable in the past and I got hurt. Well, yeah, all of us have been vulnerable in the past and all of us have gotten hurt. But I mean, does that mean that you're not going to be vulnerable now and that you're not looking for, I don't know. So he really didn't give me a straight answer.
Well, you were looking to take it slow. So this should have been music to your ears. If he said, I've been hurt in the past. Okay, well, we can take it slow. We can feel each other out. We can try to learn and understand each other. I'm open to that. I've been hurt in the past. That's an opportunity for you to connect with him on that level. I think you missed that opportunity right there.
But bottom line is, I didn't like how I felt when he left. In fact, I felt a little angry and I felt kind of sad, and I was for sure like confused by the whole thing. And I think that's something that it's so good to pay attention to when you end a date, girls or guys, when you end a date, like, how do you feel after that date? Do you feel better? Do you feel happier? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel amazing? Or do you feel, less than? Do you feel mad? Do you feel sad? Do you feel a lower vibration? Like, if you feel worse after spending time with someone, that's probably not somebody you should spend your time on again.
Well, you only felt that way at the end of the date. You only felt that way because he said, so you're going to Austin. All right, peace out. He didn't ask any more questions. As a matter of fact, honestly, if you actually like the guy, what I would probably do in this situation was, hey, I wanted to talk to you. I'd probably text him and say, hey, I kind of want to talk to you. It seemed like you were upset about something. Was there something that was said that I thought we had a really good time on the date? I really enjoyed myself. What's up? And just kind of see if he responds to that. Once again, what I mean when I think that some of these ladies really need to dig in and take some more initiative.
You should spend your time with again, right? So I for sure felt worse after spending time with this guy. And so, yeah, like, there's my answer. I don't want to, spend time with him again. I wouldn't want to go out with him again. So like I said, the feeling's mutual. Of course, I wish him the best. Of course, like, he, whatever. He did a lot of good things. There were a lot of good things about the date. We did have this really insane chemistry, right? But like I always say, that's not enough. Yes, that's important, but that's not enough. So I don't know. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if anybody's ever told you no. And
well, once again, we need to know what the boundary was, to be honest with you. And we need to try to figure out why he said no. What was his attitude about? Right? You're just kind of being vague, and basically you're trying to teach a lesson without having a reason for it. Well, let this be a lesson if they act like this. Well, why do they act like that? You go and punch a man in the face and they say, wait a minute, don't do that. Well, let this be a lesson. If they don't allow you to do something, then they ain't the one for you. Well, you punch me in the face. You know what I mean? So it does, you're not really saying anything, right? It's not really helping anybody out. You're not really giving anybody any gain.
I deleted Hinge a couple months ago, and I have actually been approaching guys in public now, and I highly recommend it for girls, like cute guys. It is actually really fun. You're going to strengthen your social skills, learn how to flirt, and deal with some rejection, and I think it's great. So far, the guys have all been kind of like imbeciles, because looks aren't everything, but you know, one of them's gonna be good. One of them is gonna be like a not an imbecile.
I mean, great start, but at some point in time, you have to choose somebody based on their character, not just how they look. Isn't that what y'all tell us? So you're probably going up to the guys that are traditionally attractive, conventionally attracted to you, and you're finding out that, like you said, looks aren't everything. So maybe start to calibrate and at some point in time, take some lessons learned and find the right man for you.
If nobody has told you today, let me be the first, okay? You are single by choice. You are single because you want to be, not because you can't get anybody. You could, okay? You go outside right now, you ask 10 people if they want to take you on a date. At least one of them is bound to say yes, because there are so many people who are desperate to be in relationships. But nobody's desperate to be single. I am. I'm desperate as fuck to be single. I go on dates and I tell people, I don't want marriage. I don't want kids. Bitch, yes I do. I just don't want that right now. I just don't want to have to compromise my life. I don't want to have to compromise my routine. I don't want anyone disrupting what I got going on. I don't want to.
You're like most modern women, you're selfish, right? And you know, I don't want to kind of say that that's not a good thing in some situations, because that's your life. That's what you choose. But I think what you're going to run into if you continue down this road is what a lot of modern women run into. Well, I love my life. I don't want anybody disturbing it. But then you don't have anybody disturb your life until you're like 35 or 40. And at that point, you're like, oh, shoot, I think I actually want a little bit of a disturbance. And by that time, your options, the people that you actually wanted, them boys ain't gone off and gotten married. Them boys got kids. They kids on the way to college, getting out of high school. And you just now talking about, oh, I think it might be time for me to settle down.
I don't have to sleep next to some sweaty body at night and then them wake up and say, I slept like shit. I don't want to have to walk on eggshells because something in their life happened that was so traumatic, like 20 years ago, and they don't want to go to therapy to fix it. They're using me. I don't want anybody weighing me down with their toxicity. Okay, I don't want anyone to be jealous of me. I don't need another person trying to morph into me. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm desperate. I'm so desperate to be single right now, because I know when I look back on my life in like 30 years when I'm married with kids, I'm gonna be like, I miss being single. You know what I'm saying? I miss the days in my 20s when I was just living it up.
It always impresses me that these modern women are so focused on doing their own thing that they think they can take this attitude into a family. Oh, well, I want to do my own thing and it's going to be 10, 15 years. And like I said, by the time I'm 30 or 40, then I'm going to want to settle down, right? After I've been, you know, quite honestly and truly with a lot of these modern women, not all of them, but a lot of them passed around just irresponsible behavior, too much of it. And then you're going to want to get in a relationship. And you're telling me that in that relationship, when you're raising kids and your husband's being faithful to you, you're going to say, I miss the days of men, random men taking me to Pound Town while my husband does everything that he needs to do. I love that. I love that. There's no better feeling as a man. There's no better confirmation as a man than to have my wife wishing she didn't want to be with me any longer. I love that. That's fantastic.
Men have become bored with women. Women, you focus on your girlfriends, the car you drive, the house you live in, the clothes you wear, your nails, your hair, your makeup, all the Botox and all the treatment you do, the fillers, the boob job, the butt tuck, the liposuction, and the list goes on and on. And when a man takes you out, you open your mouth and his head hits the table and he goes, shit, not another one. There's no substance. There's no quality about you. Your beauty is not there. It's all external and fake. There's nothing lovely about you. Men are longing for your beauty, women. The essence of who you are. Where is your nobleness? Where is your virtue? Where's your dignity? Where's your adventure?
And that's what you saw in the last clip when the woman was talking about, I want to be with myself. I want to do all of the things that I want to do. I don't want to be tied down. Maybe in 30 years, I'll have a family. That's not beautiful to men. Men don't like that. Men are weirded out by that stuff. A woman that can't commit, a woman that can't be loyal, that gives a man the ick. You waiting around until you've finally been used up by a lot of dudes, that gives men the ick. Oh, well, I look good, or I still got my figure and I still look snatched and I go to the gym. All of that is fantastic. I want to applaud you on that. I want to be the first to applaud you on that, because it takes hard work and dedication to make sure your body is in tip-top shape, and assuming you're probably healthy, right? Not assuming that there's not some other stuff, underlying issues. That's great. But modern women nowadays put too much stock into physical appearance, outward appearance. Well, yeah, that's what men like that. I got it. I hear you. But y'all put too much stock in y'all's looks, your physical appearance. You never truly, honestly develop the rest of yourself. You don't develop your personality. And you be looking for a man to come around your way when you're 35, and he not coming. He ain't gonna show up. Those kids and that family that you talking about, I'm gonna have that, and I'm gonna be one to be single. Well, 35 is gonna come and go, and you gonna have your wish. 40 is gonna come and go, and you gonna have your wish, because no man is marrying you with your mind state like that.
Okay, so I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers yesterday, Maya Galore, and she does all things beauty, lifestyle, fashion, that kind of stuff, right? In her vlog, she talked about how she feels the men of this generation are just scared to approach her. Obviously she's successful. She presents herself very classy, very rich, luxury. That's the aesthetic that she has. And she recently went out with her friend. I think they went to some bar to like watch a football game or something, and she noticed so many men were staring at her, but none of them were bold enough to actually come over and approach her or come over and talk. I think the only guy, she said, that was bold enough to do something was like trying to summon her. So he made eye contact, and I think he was like gesturing her to come over, but she doesn't respond to that. But for the girls on here, do y'all relate to that? Do y'all ever feel like men are just afraid to approach you? Men are afraid to actually make a move. It's like, they're staring, but they're just not bold enough to talk to you. And I definitely relate to that, because when I think back on the last, let's say 2-3 years, men just don't approach. And you could say, oh, well, maybe they just don't find you attractive. But like she said, sometimes you see them staring. It's like you see them staring, making constant eye contact with you. But it's like they're just not afraid to. I don't know. What's the cause of that? Are men intimidated? Because again, she does carry herself very rich, very well put together. Are they just intimidated by us? Are they just shy? Do they just lack initiative? Like, do we just have a generation of men that don't take initiative anymore? What's going on?
So that aesthetic that you were talking about, who did that really attract? Who did that really attract? That's what we need to figure out. Was your marketing tactic effective? Because the man is summoning her. You know why that man was probably summoning her? because he had the cachet to do so. I'm the one you want. I'm the prize in this situation. Oh, I'm not going for that. You don't have to. But you're going to settle over there by yourself. Oh, well, I give luxury. I give this aesthetic of wealth. Do you know men don't care about that at all? That's how y'all keep on attracting bums, is y'all are talking about some weird aesthetic that you just made up 2 seconds ago. Y'all are not worried about the stuff that actually matters in a relationship. Why don't men approach? Because your attitude is bad. Because you're sitting up here talking about, I give luxury. Don't come up to me when you're a broke man. What kind of relationship would that be? A terrible one, a horrible one. And it can only go downhill from there. I can't even believe you said that with a straight face. I can't even believe you believe that that's something that's okay to say. Y'all need to do some self-reflecting and understand that y'all are moving out here in the dating market absolutely sloppy.
If you're able to buy me a car, then that's somebody who's having their stuff together, right? If you can buy me a car,
not mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, right. Not saying I can't buy my own car. I can, right? But I'm saying if you're able to buy me a car and it's not an issue and it's not a threat to your life or to your well-being or to your finances, then you're an eligible bachelor for me.
Okay. All right. What type of? We talking like Chrysler? You know, a little Honda?
No, we're talking about a luxury vehicle.
Luxury. All right.
Yes,
Damn.
we're past that, honey. I'm grown. If I'm buying myself a luxury car,
Lexus count as luxury?
Yes, Lexus counts luxury.
Okay, she's reasonable.
Lincoln, a Lincoln. Is luxury.
Okay, yeah, okay, a little bit of maybe like a 2020 Cadillac.
No, like a 2020.
That was a good year.
Too entitled. Entirely too entitled. If a man can buy me a car and it not hurt him, then he's got his stuff together. You see the type of standards that y'all be talking about and want a man to raise his level of play to y'all standards? Your standards can't be taken seriously. You've not proven your worth to that man. And you're sitting up here asking him for a car. And not just some random car. You're asking the man for a luxury car. A Lexus, that might do. Oh, a Lincoln, that might do. Well, what about if I bought you a 2020 Cadillac? No, I don't want that. I want it to be brand new. I want to be able to go out here and stunt on somebody else's dime. That's what these modern women have. You know, they say they've raised their level of standards, but they've really honestly and truly sunk low. This is a new low for you guys. Y'all are sitting out here begging for luxury cars because you can't do it yourself. I guess the boss babe lifestyle that you're saying that you're living doesn't actually exist for you.
All right, y'all. So I remember growing up and watching women go through so much with men. And I feel like I used to hear all the time, and probably to this day, women still use this. It's okay because he can't keep doing all these good women wrong. He's going to end up old and alone. No, he's not. That man ain't going to be alone. All the men that I know that are horrible or do women wrong or serial cheaters, abusive physically, mentally, they always have a woman. They always have a woman. These men do not end up old and alone like y'all try to convince yourself to help cope with, him not doing you right. These men always find someone. They always have someone. If anything, the women who has boundaries and standards, we might end up alone, but it's okay. But the men will always find someone. They ain't gonna be alone. It is what it is. It's always a woman out here willing to deal with their BS.
While statistically speaking, women are more likely to be in a nursing home, and so they're probably going to end up dying old and alone in that nursing home. One thing that kind of stuck out to me is a woman said, as somebody that was a care manager and watched many men pass away working in hospice, many do die alone, even if married with kids. And that's crazy that they could ship you off, put you in there, married, by the way, and let you die on your own. Maybe that's a tough thing for the wife to see her husband going through that, and she would rather let him expire like that. But to me, that type of thing is why men don't get married anymore, because they know at the end of the day, they've been and worked their whole life. They've been and done everything that they could. only to have the woman that they've done it for decide not to show up for them in their last moments.
So this is what happens when you start reaching the age of 35 and up, right? When you reaching the age of 35 and up, you know what happens? Those women want to circle back to those good men that they played in their face. They want to circle back to the good guy that was trying to pursue them the whole time. So you know what they'll do? They'll go back and circle back. Hey, you know, how you doing? Send a text. You know, hey, remember me? And the guy didn't forget. He's just not interested in her at that age anymore. And now that he has even more money, more access, he does not want a woman that's her age anymore. He wants the younger woman, which is you, 25 to 34. And again, 34 is also a stretch. Some men will be like 33. Some men are like 30, right? So what I'm saying is, so now the women circle back. Now they're trying to like give themselves to the guy and everything like that. Like, okay, he was so nice and kind. So they'll sleep with the guy. But the guy already know that's not my wife no more. That's not my wife, right? And so they'll enjoy themselves knowing they're not going to marry her. I'm not saying this is right. When you guys hear me, right? I want you to really hear me with some wisdom, with some maturity, so we can have conversations that are nuanced enough to help people. I am not saying that what that guy did using her, now that she knows that she's desperate, and a man can read desperation from the moon. Let me tell you now, the way you guys think men are slow is unreal to me. They act slow to get what they want because they're logical. They're not going to fight with you. They're not going to argue with you. They're not. Stop thinking men are slow. They are actually sophisticated because they're built and wired to survive. So when you're coming back, spinning the block, when the women 35 and up are spinning the block like, okay, oh, I remember he was good. I should have given him a chance. They regret. They have a lot of regret. So they go back to the guy, has a good job, probably was an engineer, wasn't tech. You called him nerdy. You called him corny. You thought he was desperate. You thought you had a lot of options. And so what happens, that guy's not interested anymore. They're looking at you all, the 25 to 34-year-olds. Right? And so now she's like, oh, let me sleep with him, let him know I'm serious. He sleeps with her, moves on. She goes back to the other guy that was good. He was like, let me see how this person is doing. She goes back, same thing, sleeps with her, move on. That's not the wife. This happens over and over again. That you hear the older women, they'll say things like this: all men are dogs. When they say all men are dogs, this is what they're talking about. When they say all men are no good, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about lived experiences of people they have said no to previously, spun the block on, and those men are no longer interested. They're like, nope, I remember when I was coming for you and I was serious about you. The women won't tell you those stories about how there were men that were actually serious. Men are good character. And let me just be clear, I'm never talking about what is it called, Pookie and Ray Rays. I don't even operate at that level. I'm not talking about those no good men. This is not that conversation. So don't let anyone skew anything I ever have to say about, oh, I'm telling women to settle with bad men and all that. Never. I don't even eat at that level. I don't even see those men. I don't even operate at that level, right? And so if you're listening, I just want to be clear, don't get fooled when you hear older women who are now bitter and jaded because the men they thought that were going to keep coming after them at that level, at that pace, at that aggressiveness, wanting them, has slowed down significantly or are no longer looking their way. And so they're like, whoa, that's when they're like, oh my goodness, I need to get serious now. Let me start seeing. And by the time they get what I'm trying to tell you now, when you're 24, 34, it's already too late. And not too late forever, because I recorded something, options, that things that they can do and stuff like that. But you get the point I'm making, right? So I'm going to come back for the last video.
What she's trying to tell you is, don't be one of these women that misses an opportunity thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. Or you're not even in a relationship at that point in time, so you kind of don't really even have any grass. You're looking to see which home that you want to purchase. Don't get caught thinking that because they fixed it up, because they painted a few things, because, you know, they kind of cut the yard and it has nice curb appeal, that's actually the house that you want, only to get in it and figure out that, oh, the roof and the foundation need to be replaced ASAP. And now you're going bankrupt because you don't have enough money to fix it. They sold you a bill of goods. This guy who is stable, you could pay for the house, you could afford it. Yeah, you needed to mow the lawn. Yeah, once again, you needed to add some paint to it. Yeah, you probably needed to do some updating, but the house, good shape. AC worked, everything was in stable and solid working condition, that roof, you can have that roof for another 20 years. You passed on it because it wasn't the most glamorous house. And now you're looking in your quote unquote mansion that's breaking down on you as we speak, saying, you know what, maybe I should have taken that small 3-2 house it really only had 1,800 square feet in it. It wasn't the biggest thing, but yeah, right now I can do it. Yeah, you can do it now because the house that you're in is about to get taken from you. Well, that house is no longer for sale. So now you're homeless, trying to figure out what you can find, what you can do. And guess where you end up? Going down to some apartments that you can more than afford, but they're in the hood. It's not the life that you want to live.